Follow, subscribe. It's free. Why this gold miners team just might beat Fadeaway World Super Team and Allen Iverson all-time team in a 7-game series. So Fadeaway has Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon. Allen Iverson select Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal. The gold miners selected Allen Iverson, Oscar Robertson, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So Fadeaway basically took Allen Iverson and gave him a team, and his team consisted of those 5 players. So Allen Iverson recently named all his starting 5, claiming his side would be unbeatable against any team. There might be some surprises in Iverson's list, although it's hard to argue against them considering the totality of the lineup in the backcourt. Iverson chose a dynamic duel of Steph Curry and Michael Jordan to lead the line. Allen Iverson also picked Kobe Bryant, one of his greatest rivals and friends on the basketball court. There's no doubt that Allen Iverson respected Kobe Bryant. So somebody sent me this and wanted me to also pick a team. So what I simply did was I went, sat down with a group of minors, and as I was going through it, all the minors started coming around, especially the basketball fanatics. Even though some of them don't speak English at all, they wanted to, see who I would pick. And I thought about all the modern day players, and everybody was telling me who their favorites were. But I decided I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to do something that I thought would not only be an interesting argument, but also a team that would be very competitive. And if we're talking about a 7-game series and you're going up against these 10 guys, any of these 10 guys in combination would be one difficult team to overcome. So when I looked at the players that I did not select, I was trying to look at it from a standpoint as to, how would my entire team look, and then what combination of that 5 that would be on the court. Because we know that nobody's going to win a 7-game series with just 5 players, right? So you had a team in totality. Plus, I didn't want to re-pick any team. And then I wanted to put it out there for other people to kind of, play along with what we were doing. I contacted Fadeaway I'm waiting to see if they'll contact me back. My popularity is growing a little bit, so maybe they'll hit me back, maybe not. Also, I got a group of NBA guys that's going to come and do some interviews with me, and we're going to talk about different things that's going on with them, what they have going on, especially some of the retired guys. And so I'll be very much happy to talk to them about this and see exactly how and what they see, from what I pick. I would like to know what they think against the Allen Iverson's all-time and Fadeaway's Super World Team. So my entire team, and not re-picking any player that has already been picked, my bench would include Tracy McGrady, Scottie Pippen, Kevin McHale, Ray Allen, John Stockton, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Antetokounmpo, and my reserve, man, and let me tell y'all something. Putting these 2 guys on reserve killed me, but everybody can't be there. So I was looking at total lineup and who I already had: Kevin Garnett and Dennis Rodman. I know if I ever get a chance to meet Kevin Garnett, with the kind of smack he talk, he'll probably let me have it, but he is on that list for me. He's one of those guys to me, that helped change the NBA, kind of like Dennis Rodman, but they're not talked about in that way of changing the NBA. Scottie Pippen is another one, Tracy. All these guys that I just named off, these are guys that literally had something to do with how the NBA shifted. I wish that I would have had the guts to put my Louisiana boys on there, Robert Parrish, Karl Malone. And Karl Malone probably don't remember this, but I met him a long time ago, and we kind of had a run-in. But that's not, I have to tell that story sometime. But that's not how, why I didn't put him on here. I just my lineup to go against this other side. And then I was thinking defense, and then my head coach would be Gregg Popovich. My assistant coach would be Phil Jackson. I know some of y'all are thinking, why would you not make Phil Jackson the head coach? But I'm thinking about this lineup. And my GM would be Lenny Wilkins. So that's who the gold miners starting, team would be. And that's my bench. And this team will go up against the super team and all-time team. And then I knew some other people were going to pick some people, and I want to play some roles here and play some games with some people to say, hey, I would love to, pick a group of guys that's never talked about that could beat a super team, the all-time team, and a gold miners team. That would be fun to do. The guys that are never, ever mentioned except sometime, like your Vernon Maxwell's, Kenny the Jet Smith. Well, even though Kenny's always talked about, but he's not talked about in this kind of thing. But guys that could go up against these super team, Chris Jackson, Harold Miner, these guys that people are kind of long forgotten about. I would love to do something like that. Now, I'm going to get down to who my matchup is against who, and I'm going to tell you who Fadeaways is. So Fadeaway and Iverson, basically for the point guard position, Magic Johnson versus Steph Curry. And that's going to be a very difficult matchup for on both sides. I don't think Magic Johnson can keep up with Steph Curry. I just don't think he can. And I definitely don't think Steph Curry can guard Magic Johnson. Cannot stop Magic in the post. Allen Iverson cannot stop Magic in the post because he does not have to have three giants behind him. Magic's size and talent are beyond reckoning. Magic would not be able to consistently guard Allen Iverson's quickness in the open court or half-court sets. Allen would squeeze out 4 to 6 more points and one more steal if he gets going. Curry offense will spread the floor for sure. Allen's matchup against Curry is equal in dribbling but favors Allen's speed. Allen switches between street baller and NBA is going to bring havoc. If Curry misses those long rebounds, means off to the races because there's no offensive rebounds for a second chance attempt. The Giants and Oscar will make sure of it. I got some heck of a rebounders on this team. So Fadeaway and Allen picked Magic and Curry, and I chose Allen Iverson. Isn't that weird? Allen Iverson didn't even choose himself, but I'm going to choose him because I think he will match up against them. For the next matchup, Fadeaway and Allen chose Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, and I chose Oscar Robertson. So what I said was, as the gold miner said, was Michael would get 30. There's nothing we can do about that. This means only 63 points left between Kobe, Curry, Shaq, and LeBron. Nope. I agree that Bird, just like the rest of the players, is a GOAT in his specific categories. Bird will get a painful 28, but the big O will get us 30, plus double-digit boards. And there's nothing Jordan or Bird can do about this. The matchup with Oscar Robertson is going to feel most unusually weird for Jordan and Bird. They know there's absolutely nothing they can do to guard themselves as scorers, and that's what it will be like guarding Oscar Robertson. Oscar will likely squeeze in a few more points with extra rebounds from the Giants. So Jordan guarding Oscar is going to feel like guarding himself. He's not going to be able to do it, and Bird surely is not going to be able to do it. Now, I'm not saying that Oscar is going to stop, but I already told you Bird going to get 28, and Jordan is going to get 30. And Bird and Jordan can switch between those points, so that's not uncommon. Now, here's where my lineup gets interesting. So Fadeaway and Allen chose Kevin Durant and Kobe Bryant. For this matchup, did something very unusual. I chose Bill Russell to match up against them. Then I said the gold miner is absolutely crazy to think that Bill Russell can guard either Durant or Bryant. If the Black Mamba is venomous, then Durant is surely poisonous. Other than Pippen and Rodman, no one can do anything with these two guys. And maybe I'll throw Draymond Green in there, maybe. Wait, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the mythological spider from the East, Bill Russell. It will take Bill Russell 46.5 minutes, the entire length of the court, rules of the game, who we know he was brilliant with using, and a few moments here and there to get these two caught up in his web. Russell will deliver small bites of toxin every few ticks off the clock. The same way you feel about these two guys on offense is exactly what Bill Russell is on defense in the open court and half-court sets. Death by toxic bites every few minutes and every game. Bill Russell, speed-wise, is not going to be able to keep up with them, but he'll make up for it in his intelligence and his length and his durability. Because one thing I know for sure, Kobe and Durant is almost unguardable. But neither one of these guys is going to be able to do all the other things that Bill Russell is going to bring to the table. And Bill Russell didn't spend a lot of time scoring because he didn't have to on the teams. He did what he was supposed to do. I kind of like that in Draymond Green. I don't think everybody make this big deal about Draymond Green. I think Draymond does what he has to do. And to me, that's a sign of brilliance. So my next lineup is even more unorthodox. Tim Duncan, Fadeaway, and Allen Iverson took Tim Duncan and LeBron James. And I chose Wilt Chamberlain. And what I said was, first of all, Wilt would love being a power forward the entire game over an entire series. I think Wilt would just flat out love playing power forward instead of being a center. He would take on that challenge. Imagine Jordan and LeBron being 7-1. Damn. Wilt justified the entire team is too big, too strong, and too much wit, and just too much wilt. Wilt can guard each of these guys, but they cannot guard him. Duncan would be more of a problem than LeBron because LeBron's team structure would not allow him to fully be effective as a scorer. He is playing with the guards that have to shoot to be effective. That's what LeBron's problem is going to be on that team. He's playing with guards who have to shoot to be effective. Can you imagine a team where LeBron is the last option to score? It's this one. Duncan shots will be altered so many times, eventually it will affect his attack. Wilt will have his work cut out for him, but Duncan and LeBron will suffer on offense and defense every possession. No one can effectively operate on Bill Russell's side of the floor. So I got Wilt on one side, power forward, and I got Russell on the other side as a power forward. No matter which side you're on, you're not going to be effective on either side with that help defense. I got two of the quickest guards ever to even play in the game for those passing lanes. I got length. I just feel very good with my choices. And people forget, this is what people often forget, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain both were track athletes. And they wasn't small track athletes. They were great track athletes. Great track athletes. So Fadeaway And Iverson chose Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal. This one is quite difficult. And who I chose was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Quiet beast. So Shaq would be a handful if he ever touches the ball. That's for sure. Russell and Wilt playing power forward on the opposite side. Shaq and Hakeem will have little to no space to work. So whatever Shaq does, he has to do it quick. They will give Kareem a lot of trouble, but I don't mind that. They are going to get back what they dish out. It's impossible to block the skyhook. And Kareem is not some weakling that will be bullied by Shaq or Hakeem. Yeah, I said it. It will. Yeah, I said it with okay, this is what I said. I said it with a small lump in my throat. We will be careful not to let Shaq adjust his game to a running game. He is very capable of that, especially in Shaq's younger days. He was very capable of that running game. The dream will demand the ball, and he will have to go and stay on one side. He cannot operate on both sides. Remember, I got Russell and Chamberlain playing forwards. This is when our backcourt will be in their halfway position to bother the passing lane. Now, I know my guards can't cheat too much because you got Bird and you got Michael and you got Kobe and you got Curry. It's not like my guys can cheat. That's not what I'm depending on. I'm depending on them bothering the big guys. Okay? Because, yeah, when Olajuwon spins or Shaq does that little step jump hook, they have to ensure they don't miss. Olajuwon can't miss. Shaq can't miss because there will not be any putbacks. There won't be any putbacks because I got Russell. There won't be any putbacks because I got Wilt. There won't be any putbacks because I got Kareem. There won't be any putback because I got Oscar. All four of these guys were phenomenal rebounders. So how I sum up what I have: 5 people on the court, 12 on the bench, with 6 coaches, and everyone keeps talking about the players can win a game by themselves. No one player in today's or yesteryears can win games alone. Team Gold Miner has a very high average field goal percentage team. 4 elite scorers, 4 dominant rebounders, and 3 dominant in the paint, and 2 backcourts. Allen will cause massive havoc over 7 games. Oscar will balance out Michael and Bird. Russell will love taking on Kobe and Durant, especially if I have that young Russell. Wilt is just too strong, big, and sound, and trust that Kareem will take his time and work out. No team we play will ever get a second shot attempt, so they must have a perfect game. Whoever plays my team must be perfect. We don't have to block every shot we contest, but we will make shooting over us unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and unwelcoming. So I have us winning over, let me see how many games. So this is the result. I'm going to leave all the rest of this for y'all to read through. The Fadeaway World versus Team Iverson is a 4-3. That's where Fadeaway had Magic Johnson being MVP. Game result. The Team Gold Miners versus Fadeaway, I have us beating Fadeaway 4-2 with Allen Iverson being MVP. I think he'll be MVP against that group. Team Gold Miner versus Team Iverson is still going to be 4-2, and Bill Russell is going to be MVP. Jordan and Bird is not going to do what they want every time with Oscar. Come on, y'all. Y'all know Oscar. That's just not going to happen. Russell changed the way defense was played by the entire league. Kobe and Michael will likely attack the same way, duplicating themselves. So the defense that we have for Michael is the same defense we're going to have for Kobe. They're just going to basically duplicate each other. So we have to figure out the same tactic for them because they're the same player. Russell basketball wit will address these offensive juggernauts because Russell is a defensive juggernaut. Durant is more of an issue because he's playing with Magic and Bird, who will give him the ball more often. This is how I see that. But again, he cannot miss. There will not be any second attempts. So far, every matchup we face against people that have to put up a lot of shots to be relevant. Russell, as the full leader, is the opposite of that. Russell is more relevant because he played during a time with fewer teams, meaning fewer player selection. No time for a player to develop. You had to be pro-ready immediately. There were people always say Russell didn't have, he played in an era where there was less teams. It ain't like 10 teams win a championship. Even today with 30-something teams, there's only one team going to win the championship. So I don't know what everybody talking about. It don't matter if it was 5 teams. You know what 5 teams mean? 5 teams mean that it will only be Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, what's his name? Tatum, Brown, Lillard, LeBron. It wouldn't be all these others. There wouldn't be any room for them. It'll just be, the main guys. This is what Russell was playing against. Russell played in an era where it was few teams, which means that everybody he played against was ready. So this is how I see it working out. It's a lot here for me to read through, but I'm not going to read through it. I think you guys kind of get the point. Lastly, I had a hard time not picking the versatility types like Scottie Pippen or Ray Allen to play in the backcourt. Matter of fact, you can swap out any one of my backcourt guys for Scottie or Ray Allen, and this team will still be a very difficult team to beat. I know people think that Russell and Wilt size won't make a difference, but Russell and Wilt was a lot quicker than you thought. You never got a chance to see that quickness because they were always guarding bigger guys. They didn't have to be. And one thing I'm going to say, this is the last time I know this for sure. You can't miss against us. You have to have a perfect game, and you're not going to have a perfect game all 7 games. If I had to add 1 or 2 more players that I think will really do some big things inside here from the old day players. Now, I went old school. Most of my guys are retired, with the exception of Kawhi and Giannis. I think everybody else is retired. But last thing is Charles Barkley is another name that probably should have been on this somewhere in here, along with a few other ones. But that's my team. I would love to know who you guys think. I'd love to know what y'all think about it, and we'll go from there. Follow, subscribe. It's free.